Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we are looking at functions. So I will solve different questions, maybe 3 or 4 on the functions, but we are going to start with the basic before we solve this one. Functions are more like substitution. Okay, so you are given an equation, and within the variables you are given specific numbers for those variables. You are just asked to substitute, and that is it. Okay, for instance, if we have, let's say if you are dealing with one thing here, say f of x, which is just x plus 2. Now if you're asked to find f of 1, it simply means you replace this guy. So this becomes 1 plus 2. And your answer here becomes 3. Okay? Easy as that. Okay? Once you know that basic, once you know the basics, then you can solve most of the questions now. So these are composite function. Let's start with this one. Whenever you have a composite function, you start inside and move towards the outside. So this is f of g of 3. Let's start with the g of 3 here. Okay? But we know that g of x is given as 2 minus x, right? So therefore, your g of 3 is saying replace this guy. So this is 2 minus 3. Here your answer becomes minus 1. So this function, okay, the original function which was f of g of 3 now becomes f of the g of 3 now is minus 1. Okay, but we know that the f of x function is what? 1 minus 5x divided by 2. So my f of minus 1 now becomes 1 minus 5 into minus 1 divided by 2. And this gives you 1 times minus is plus. 5 times 1 is 5. So it becomes 1 plus 5 here divided by 2. And this is 6. So hence your answer here becomes 3. So therefore, my f of g of 3 is equals to 3, which is your answer. Okay, so this is the first example, or should I say the second example? Then let's look at the next one. Okay, so let's solve the second or third example, right? This one says if f of x equals to x squared minus 3x minus 1 and g of x is 1 minus x, what is the value of f of g of minus 2? So the same thing here, we start from this one, so g of minus 2. Okay, but we know that the g of x is giving us 1 minus x. So therefore, my g of minus 2 is basically saying 1 minus into minus 2. Okay, so this gives you 1 plus 2. Your answer here becomes 3. Okay, so this original function becomes now f of. So this becomes now f of, which is what this 0 means. Instead of g of minus 2, it becomes now 3 here. Okay, but you know that your f of x is giving us x squared minus 3x minus 1. Okay, so therefore your f of 3 becomes, this is 3 squared minus 3 into 3 minus 1. Okay, 3 squared is 9 minus this again 9, then minus 1. This and this cancel, 0 minus 1. Your answer becomes minus 1. Therefore, your f of g of minus 2 becomes minus 1. Okay, so that is our third example. Let's look at the other example. Okay, let's solve the example 4. It says if f of x is equal to root x squared plus 5, what is f of 1? Okay, so we start with this one here. So we are given the function here, which is just f of x as root x squared plus 5. So my f of 1, that's the first one. So this gives you root 1 squared plus 5, which is just root 6. Okay, 1 square is 1 plus this gives you 6. Now, this function now becomes, so this becomes now f of what now? Of root 6. Okay? Because f of 1 is now this one. Okay? Now you solve again this one. So you say f of root 6. You substitute here again. This becomes root. Then x here, which is just root 6. You square it. This is squared plus the 5 again. So now, this gives you see this and this cancel. So this becomes root 6 here plus 5. And that gives you root 11. Okay? So hence, now you've gotten this. This becomes now f of. Instead of this, which is the f of root 6, it becomes now root 11. Where am I getting 16 now? Okay, so that's what we need to plug now into this. So my f of root 11 is equals to, this becomes root 11 all square plus 5. Okay, so my f of root 11 is equals to, this cancel this, so we are left with 11 plus 5, which is just root 16. Okay, and root 16 is what? So my f of root 11 is equals to 4. Okay, square root of 16 is 4. So therefore, your f of 1 is equals to 4, which is your answer. Let's solve one more example, and I will give you an exercise to do. Okay, this one says if f of x equals to the square root of 2x squared minus 1, what is f of f of 2? What is f of f of 2? Okay, so the same thing, we start with this one. Your f of 2 is root 2 into 2 all square minus 1. Okay, so this becomes 2 square is 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 minus 1 becomes 7. So this becomes root 7. Okay, so now this function now becomes f of f. Instead of this, it becomes now root 7. Okay, so now let's solve for this one. So my f of root 7 is equals to, this becomes root 2 into root 7 all square minus 1. Okay, now this and this cancel. 2 times this 14. 14 minus this gives you 13. So this becomes root 13. Okay, now you are just left with f of root 14. Substitute again. This becomes 2 into root 13 all square minus 1. Okay, so your answer here, this and this cancel. 2 times 26. 26 minus becomes 25. So root 25, your answer becomes 5. So therefore, the whole of this, your f of 2 becomes 5. Okay, so that is it. Now let me give you what you need to try. Try this one. It says if f of x equals to root 2x and g of x is this, what is the value of f of g of 1 minus g of f of 1? Okay, what is the value? See you guys in my next video. Don't forget to share this video, like, and subscribe for more. Hit on the bell notification so that when I upload a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Please subscribe.